to today's session. My name is Sarah. I'm going to be your instructor for today concerning the Microsoft 365 fundamentals. I understand that in the last session, you guys were taught about the cloud concepts and what IaaS means, infrastructure as a service, what platform as a service means, what software as a service means, and that Microsoft 365 is under a software as a service. I also understand that you were able to create your developer's tenants. If you have not created yours, that's fine. We can do that together later. And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute your mic and ask the question on the go. Okay. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about the Microsoft 365 services and concepts. We'll do a bit of demo, and we would also talk about managing business with Microsoft 365. We do another bit of demo, and would also learn the fundamental knowledge of the reporting and the analytic capabilities within Microsoft 365. We do another demo, and finally, knowledge check. So this knowledge check is nothing too serious. You don't have to be worried about it. It's just me throwing some questions about what we've learned both last week and this week. It's just 3 questions. So I will just expect it to be a more interactive session. I'll just ask the questions, and if you know the answer, you can easily raise your hands up, answer the questions, or type it out on the chat if you do not want to speak. So moving on to Microsoft 365 services and concepts. So we're going to just discuss about these 4 major Microsoft 365 core services. I'm going to start with SharePoint Online. So what is SharePoint Online? So if as an IT admin, you need SharePoint Online to store files. Back in the days, before SharePoint Online, we store our files using our PC. And if we lose that PC, our file is gone. We store our file using USB storage driver, the driver we use. If that one gets lost, it's gone. And some businesses took it a further step by storing it in a larger computers called servers. And you have to pay for that services. You have to pay much more money to keep the infrastructure running. So Microsoft came up with a solution, SharePoint Online. SharePoint Online lets you create websites, create pages, and you store your documents in form of a library. So there's a library and there is a list. Let me just bring up the SharePoint so we can all see it. So in our Office 365, we can go to SharePoint. Yeah, this is SharePoint. So this is what a SharePoint site look like. You can create a site, you can create a post, and this will be shared in your organization. You can also share it beyond the organization to external users, depending on what you want. So you can create just a, if you are familiar with WordPress, it's something similar. You can create a site, you can create a new post. You can also create, so there are 2 major types of sites. We have the team site and the communication site. So the team site you can use for collaboration. You can create a group that manages the team sites, while communication sites is you can just create like website that people can just view content and engage with the content. So back in the days, we stored all this stuff in a SharePoint server, and Microsoft is saying no, you don't have to do that. This is included in your Microsoft 365 subscription. You can easily get SharePoint. Your users can create their own sites. You as an administrator can create the website for users to use. You can be the one in charge of it. And the good thing about SharePoint is that it syncs online. So you can have access to it on your phone, on your PC, and various of your various devices, as long as you are signed in. It provides a lot of storage options for the users. And also it's co-joined with OneDrive. I know we might have heard of OneDrive, just as we've heard of Google Drive. OneDrive is also a storage feature that Microsoft provides as part of the Microsoft 365 subscription. Then the next one we're going to be looking at is Microsoft Teams. Yeah. So what is Microsoft Teams? We are using Microsoft Teams right now to discuss. So Microsoft Teams is a collaboration feature provided by Microsoft to keep your teams in sync. Most organization works remotely right now. How do they communicate? You already have a Microsoft subscription, so Teams comes as part of the package. You guys use it for collaboration, you use it to keep your teams in sync, and you can also use it to for video, for audio, and you can also use it to chat with one another. I'm just going to open what it looks like right now. So I think we all have Microsoft Teams, but let me not assume. And let's go to Microsoft Teams. So yes. And so this is just the application. And when we go to the admin portal, because the main purpose of this is for administrators, you can see the different admin centers here. So we have the SharePoint admin centers. I'm going to open that. I'm going to also open the Teams admin center. So just a quick question. Has any one of us been able to create our developers tenant? Anyone?
I tried doing that, but yeah, I didn't stay throughout the class last week.
Okay.
But I went to YouTube to conclude it. Then I tried it last night. And I just went to Google and then did Microsoft 365 login. So I just explored it and all that. The link that was sent to the group. But when I clicked on the Microsoft Word in the Microsoft 365, it wasn't coming up. I even screenshotted it. I will show you. I didn't know why. Maybe because I didn't go through the right channel to log in or something.
Okay, that's okay. We are going to figure it out together. Another person.
I'm just joining for the first time. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I say I'm just joining for the first time. So I was not aware of that.
That's okay. Probably after this session, we would try to recreate the developer's tenant, and I'll try to see the error you got, Monserrat, and we'll try to fix it together. Okay.
Okay, ma. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
I've tried to create it too. I did.
Okay.
I was even able to create a user.
Oh, that's good. That's nice. So Francis, you were able to create the developer's trial subscription, right?
Yes, and
that's good news. That's good news. Okay. I also want to encourage us to make use of the chat on this Microsoft Teams. So anytime Monday to Sunday, I mean, if you face any issue, just post it on the chat. Whenever we see it, we respond to it, and you get a notification as well. Is that okay? I don't want you to wait till the next Saturday before you show us what's going on. So you can always use the chat system here on Microsoft Teams to message us and let us know if you're facing any problem. Okay.
Okay, ma.
All right, good. So now this is the admin portal. You can follow along if you already have it. So we have the SharePoint admin center. So this is where you do your administrative work. You can see the deleted sites if there is none, and you can restore the deleted sites, or you can permanently delete a deleted site. However, these sites are retained for 93 days before they are permanently deleted by Microsoft. So for instance, you created a site and someone accidentally deleted it. You can always restore the site within 93 days. But after 93 days, it's gone, it's cleared, the space is free for some other things to do. And also, you can also set your policies. So right now, it's set to anyone, which means that anybody can share files or folders using links that doesn't require signing. But if I want only people in my company to be able to access a particular document, a Word document or any document in my organization, any SharePoint list in my organization, I'll just reduce this to only people in my organization. So that means people, since I'm in textilers.com, people from Microsoft.com cannot come and touch my documents. They cannot even view the documents. It's going to throw an error that they don't have the permission to view the documents. Now, we also have existing guests. So, for instance, let's assume that, okay, I added somebody from Microsoft's office, a particular user. Let's assume Francis is working for Microsoft, and I added her to my tenant as a guest. So she has signed in before, so she can access those documents. However, if I have not added her as a guest in my organization, she cannot access those documents. So she will keep on getting an error, even though I sent her a link. She will keep on getting an error, and she will send me a message back that, Sarah, I cannot access this document. Then we have new and existing guests. New and existing guests, they must sign in or provide a verification code. So I can send a code to Francis saying, okay, I want you to, check out this document for me, but I want it to be in a protected mode. So I'm going to send her like our own sign-in details, like, okay, can you just sign in? And I'll give her a verification code for her to be able to access those documents. And the most permissive one is anyone in the organization. Then I also want you to notice something. For SharePoint, the OneDrive cannot go higher than the SharePoint one because the OneDrive depends on the SharePoint permission. So even though I'm trying to give someone like a permission in my OneDrive, like anyone, it's not going to work because in my SharePoint, in my tenants, I didn't set it to that. But if I set it here, I can be able to move this one. So OneDrive kind of depends on SharePoint for the permissions. So also, you can also make some other changes here as an admin. I would encourage us to, play around with this. You can also create a site from the admin portal and give sites to users to use. So I'm just going to, do I have permission to this site? I think so. So I'm just going to open this website. See if I have permission. Okay, I do have permission. Okay, so this website is a site I created for Power Apps, which I'm going to talk about later. So these are the various, this is the list in my website. So this is the document I spoke about. You can upload your document here from your computer, or you can upload a folder from your computer, and it's saved here. It's saved. It's part of your Microsoft 365 subscription. So this is the list I created. I created an app where you can book your desk before you come to office, which we're going to talk about later when we're talking about Power Apps and the rest. So so my Power Apps is feeding from my Microsoft list. So I don't know if you've heard the word database before, where you store information. So, but because I don't have a database, I decided to use SharePoint. So SharePoint can also serve as your database for your applications. For example, you are someone that, maybe in your company, you are the IT admin and they just want you to build a very simple app or forms, or you want to create a form, like you want people to fill a particular form. Where do you want that data to be stored? You can use SharePoint. You can use SharePoint to store those data. Probably you want them to okay, they visited your external website. How are you feeling today? How can you rate our website? All those kind of forms. You can, put the response in a SharePoint where it is saved. So that's the advantage of SharePoint. And there used to be SharePoint servers. So you can also migrate from your SharePoint server to SharePoint Online using the migration wizard Microsoft had made available. So you can also check your site's content here. So it's actually very nice. You can also export your lists in Excel format or in CSV format. You can also do some automations, create some rules, or integrate with some other apps like Power BI or Power Apps or Power Automate. So as an administrator, these are the overview of the things you are going to use a lot. And these are the core services that Microsoft provides. And these are the kind of questions that you'll be asked if you are to write the MS 900 exams. The advantages of SharePoint, or they may want to confuse you with things like what services should you use for files and storage. In the options, you may see Exchange Online. In the options, you may see Windows. In the options, you may see Power Apps, but you know that the answer is SharePoint. So these are the kind of things that's going to help you like pass the MS 900 exam. Then moving on to the next thing, which is Microsoft Teams. I'm going to skip it off for now. This is what the Microsoft Teams Admin Center. Remember, I took everything from the Admin Center here. So this is what the Microsoft Teams Admin Center looks like. You can also create teams. You can also manage the teams you have here. You can also add new teams, a name for your team, and the type of teams you want to create. You can also set your team policies, like what do you want? For example, if people are on a team right now for this call, and I can set a policy, or I can set a policy, a Teams policy that I don't want you guys to be able to chat. So that's why sometimes when you join some meetings, because you're an external person, you will not be able to chat. Also, I don't want the users to be able to like see some things. These are where you set all those policies. So this is the default policies that came with this one. Okay, this is saying that you can create private channels. Then this is template policies also. So these are the type of policies that we have in Microsoft Teams. You can edit this, you can do whatever it is you want to do with it as an admin here. You can also manage users and manage the guest access. So for each user, you can like, okay, this is the policy that's assigned to this particular user, I want to change it. This is the policy that's applied to this user, I want to change it. You can also do the guest access here. If you can see, my guests can share I can share my entire screen to, the guests can share their entire screen. But once I turn it off, they will not be able to share their screen as well. Okay. Also, my guests can edit their sent messages in my own tenant. So for instance, we are all typing, right? If you guys type, I don't know if you guys can be able to edit your messages or not for this particular tenant we are on. So this is where the settings are being made. My guests can delete their chats. I don't want my guests to. So for example, Monserrat already asked a question in the group chat today. I don't know if she can be able to delete it. Monserrat, can you try to delete the message you sent earlier and see if it's possible?
Okay, I should delete it, right?
I can delete, yes. Try to see if you can delete the message.
No,
you cannot. Can you delete it? Hello? Okay, it seems we lost her. All right. So this is where the settings are being made for guests. And you can also see that guest has been attached to your name. So like Francis, we have guest attached to our name. So these are the things you can do, you can set in your own business and, make these changes. So for instance, if I don't want my guests to be able to chat, I turn it off here.
Sorry, I lost network. Hello?
That's good. Yeah, okay. That's okay. Hello? Okay. If I want to turn off the GIF.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, I lost network.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you able to delete the chat?
No, I wasn't able to delete it.
Okay. Yeah, that's because it has been turned off in the admin settings. So these are the various things, depending on your organization, depending on what kind of company you work for. If you work for like a security company, for instance, and you don't want anybody to be able to delete message, that's when you turn it off. But if you don't care, like if you're in Sarah's company right now, this company we're looking at, there's access for the guests to delete the chat because Sarah does not care. Sarah's company does not really care about security or doesn't care about, compliance, and they don't see any need to delete the chat. So all these things are things that you do from the admin portal as an administrator. You can also set for external users, allow users in my organization to communicate with Skype users. If you remember, we all know what Skype is, right? The old let me just say the old Microsoft Teams. So if you don't want your organization to to be able to chat with Skype people, you can turn it off here, or you can leave it on as well. Also, you can also do some settings for Teams app. So the good thing about Teams is that you can also install application on Teams, either custom application or already allowed application. So if we notice, anytime we record our classes, you see it on Microsoft Teams, right? It's using a service called Stream, and Stream is another separate app. So that's the good thing about Teams. Also in Teams, you can also attach forms to Teams. So this is where you remove, you disallow it, you allow it, or you upload your own custom application that maybe your developer has already built. So Microsoft Teams is beyond just only chatting and video calling, and it's the whole world is going remote. So Microsoft Teams is a very, very good way of how would I put it, collaborating with your colleagues, and wasting that whole time of working from one office to another when you can easily chat with a person. So we also have messaging policies that are made. This is for the organization itself. This is not for the guests. This is not for the outsiders. So you can turn off translation messages. I don't want to do that. And also in Microsoft Teams, we have this urgent message using priority notifications. So for instance, you need a document immediately, and you notice that Francis is online, but she's not answering you, and you want that document, you can use that urgent notification. It will keep disturbing Francis every 2 minutes that Sarah wants this document until Francis replied before the notification will stop. So you can also turn it off if your users don't want that. You can also allow them to delete this. Mine is turned off. You can turn it back on to delete sent messages, to edit the sent messages, and to have read receipts. So some of us on WhatsApp don't like leaving our read receipt on, right? So this is where you can add on admin. You can turn off for everyone. So if you turn off for everyone, nobody will be able to see that, oh, Francis has read my message, Monserrat has read my messages. If you turn it on for everyone, everybody can see when Francis read my message. Aderoju can see when I read his messages as well. And you can also leave it as user control. User control means that I would see the setting myself in my Microsoft Teams that, okay, I don't want people to see that I've already read their messages, like my WhatsApp. So I'll just turn it off so that nobody can see that I've read my messages. On WhatsApp, it's blue tick, but on Teams is the eye icon, like eyes, the icon, EYE. So these are the things we do as an admin. Then for voice, you can also have your own phone numbers, but you need an additional plan for that. Yeah. You can also have your calling policies. Sometimes you see somebody calling you, even though the person is in Nigeria, but the number will be strange, kind of like an international number. So it's possible the person is using Teams to call you. So you can also set your location, your emergency addresses. You can also do your network testing here, and also do your analytics and reports, your usage reports. How many people have been, using Teams? What is the call quality like? Have people been complaining about the call quality and all those other stuff? Okay. Any questions for SharePoint and Microsoft Teams for now? Okay. I'll be moving on to the next one. Let's see. The next one is, I think, Exchange Online. All right.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, sorry. I want to ask, with all the characteristics of Microsoft,
Mhm.
is there any similarity between this particular interface, between this interface and Active Directory?
Active Directory, the local Active Directory.
Yes, the what is it called? Yeah, the local Active Directory.
Yes, there is
Is there
difference.
any relationship or difference?
Well, we'll get to that later. We'll get into the hybrid models.
Okay.
But that is it's not for Microsoft Teams. It's for between Azure Active Directory and the local Active Directory. so that we don't get confused. We take it a step at a time.
Why I was asking because since when somebody said you was able to create users on, so that's why I
Oh,
was
okay.
asking. And in
Yeah.
Active Directory, we can also create users. It's also meant for authentication and whatever, I guess.
Yeah. So
Abi?
in the local Active Directory, you can create users. Also in Azure Active Directory or Microsoft 365 Center,
Okay.
you can also create users. It depends on where you, as an IT admin, want your users to be. Some people want their users to be the local Active Directory, so they create the users. The interface is not. It's. I would say Microsoft Admin Center is more intuitive. However, it's
Okay.
similar in a way that that's the same way, either via PowerShell or via the global user interface GUI. So I would say that it's similar, but it's not the same.
Okay.
For the local
Thank you.
Active Directory, you can always sync your users so that they can have access to Microsoft 365. You can always sync your users to using Azure AD Connect to Office 365, and they are going to appear here as users.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, see sync status now. So now, as you can see, all my users here are cloud, except this one. This is my on-premise one, the directory synchronization user. When I created my Azure AD Connect. So when you create users in your local Active Directory and you sync them up, they are going to have this kind of button. It's going to show sync from the on-premises. Remember, we have the on-prem and cloud, and we have hybrid. So this is what is going to show in your Office 365 portal if you sync them. So okay. We're going to get to that in one of the classes as well. We're going to talk about how you can sync users from the local AD to the Azure AD as well. So moving on to Exchange. So I'm going to open the Exchange admin portal as well. I love Exchange. Exchange is my best Microsoft core service feature. So now, what is Exchange? We've been hearing about Exchange. We all know what Gmail is. We all know what we may know what Outlook is. We know what Hotmail is. So what is Exchange? So Exchange is a Microsoft feature host host emails for businesses. You have access to your emails, your calendar, your contacts on your PC or your phone, your iPad, or any other device you have. It's part of the Microsoft 365 subscription. It's secure and it's easy to use. It's easy to maintain. You are not paying for any other infrastructure. Microsoft is the one, hosting it for you. So let me just take us back to memory lane. So back in the days when we want to, when we want to send message to someone, we have to write letters, right? So we started from writing letters, then we moved to servers, where all these big companies have to have all these big computers in their organization, like the whole servers and stuff. And Microsoft is saying you don't need to pay for all those again. And the disadvantage about the on-prem is that you may think you're going to have loads of information. You go to buy like a very big, large server and you end up not even using half, and you've already paid for it. So Microsoft is saying that, okay, as you are buying new users, as you are getting new users, you just pay for these users. You just pay for their licenses, and the licenses comes with so we have the 50 gig and we have 100 gig. So 50 gig is Exchange Online Plan 1, while 100 gig is Exchange Online Plan 2. And Microsoft say, okay, see, even that 50 gig we are giving you, you can also have extra 50 gig if that your 50 gig finishes. Then for the 100 gig, if your 100 gig finishes, we have extra 100 gig for you, and we still have what we call unlimited archiving. So even if the 100 gig is finished and the extra 100 gig I gave you is finished, you can still have emails. You can still send emails. It's part of your subscription. So these are the things you need to check as an admin. before you give any user a license. What is this user going to be? Do you think this user needs more than 50 gig? And the good thing is that if you're not sure, you can even get the 50 gig for this user. And like, okay, this person should just have this 50 gig as at first, then later we can move on to the like 200 gig if the person needs more space. So that's just the overview of what Exchange Online is. And we also have what we call the shared mailbox. Now, in this shared mailbox, you don't have to pay license for it. It's free. And what is a shared mailbox? I'm going to use a case study. So there is an HR department, right? Some of us, when we apply for a job, we receive an email from info at maybe sarahcompany.com, info at microsoft.com, or HR at microsoft.com. You send an email. I'm not saying that it's a shared mailbox. I don't know if they are using a shared mailbox, but you can use a shared mailbox for that kind of situation. In that case, if Francis is in the HR team, Moshirat is the HR team, and Adiroju is in the HR team, they can always have access to that mailbox and reply the users that apply to job. So if, for instance, I send an email to apply to Moshirat's company that, hey, I need a job in this company, and they saw my application, and Moshirat is not available, Francis can easily go to the shared mailbox. She sees the email as well because it's called a shared mailbox. And the good thing is you're not paying for it. You don't have to have a license to have a shared mailbox. So after this class, the assignment for today will be for us to create a shared mailbox. And yeah, I'm still going to give my assignment as well because I want us to be I want it to be an interactive session. I want us to be able to do things ourselves so that you can when you want to sit for the exam, you already have the practical knowledge and the answers comes right easy to you. Then we also have group mailboxes as well. The group mailboxes and shared mailboxes is kind of different because shared mailbox, you have to like give permission to these people. But for the group, once you just create a group, a Microsoft 365 group, it has a mailbox attached to it already. So any user you add to that group automatically have access to that mailbox. Then we have distribution lists. So distribution list does not come with a mailbox. So what's a distribution list? For instance, everybody in this modern workplace cohort now, I want to send an email to everybody. Instead of me, maybe I want to send an email every 2 days to you guys. Instead of me to be sending email and typing your email address one after the other, I can just create a distribution list and add everybody to that list. I'll call the list modern workplace list. Anytime I want to send an email to people, I just use that list. So the distribution list, there can be 500 people. You can use it for like newsletters. Maybe you want to send out a newsletter. You just add all the email addresses you want to send the email to every month or every day and just add it. Then we have mail-enabled security also. Then we have dynamic distribution list as well. I like this dynamic distribution list because it's kind of automated. It's kind of automatic. If I want to create a group for all the people in the IT team, what I just need to do is when I create the group, I just set the department. Let's just do a test. So let me do a dynamic distribution list. Let me call it IT department. Next. So only the following with this. Users with Exchange mailboxes, select a condition. So this is where you can select the condition. I say, okay, departments, everybody in the IT department. I may not have any users in my IT department in this. And you can also add another rule that, okay, let them be in the IT department and let their position be maybe senior managers. So this is how you get communication. This is very easy. So as an administrator, these are the things you need to know. These are the things you need to do. These are the things you need to also know to pass your MS 900. Just the overview of Microsoft 365 and what it entails. So I'm going to be the owner, of course. So let's look for Sarah. Next, the group email address, IT department. IT department is available. Next, and I create the group. So automatically, it's going to add the members itself. I'm not the one adding the members. Microsoft goes and check every user that is in IT department, automatically adds it to that group. So next time when I'm sending out an email to everybody in the IT department, instead of me to start thinking and scratching my brain, who is in the IT department. And the good thing about this dynamic creation of group is that if Monserrat was not part of my company before and she joins tomorrow, for instance, as long as she's in the IT department, automatically this group updates and add her to the list. So it makes life easy. It makes the workplace easy. And also we have the contacts normally like our contacts, add someone as a contact details. We have the resources. We have two different type of resources. We have the equipment and the room. Now, before COVID, back in the office, we have some conference rooms, we have some, lunch room, we have some emergency room or some kind of rooms we have in the office. And you don't want people to be, walking in and out of the room anyhow. So what we do as an admin, you can add a resource and say, okay, this is location, this is room, this. Anybody that wants to create a Teams meeting should use this room. So when they're trying to create a Teams meeting on Teams, they will check, okay, at least they will know that, okay, conference room 1 has been taken by somebody, conference room 2 has been taken by somebody, conference room 3 is the only room available, and they now use that room. So once I create that room, okay, for example, mine is first desk and second desk. So once someone just takes second desk for maybe Monday by 8 o'clock, and somebody on Teams is trying to book it, we'll see that it's going to disappear from the person's list. It's going to show that, somebody's already using this room at this particular time. So that's the advantage of Exchange Online. You can also do message trace, like check, maybe Monserrat sent an email to Aderoju. Aderoju said it didn't get the email. So this is where you can check, okay, as an admin, your users are complaining that, this person said she sent me an email, I did not receive it. What can you do? This is where you come and check and see that, okay, is it true? They should really send the message. It did not deliver. Why didn't it deliver? What can you do as an admin? Or it delivered, but you can see that it's in this person's junk. You now tell her to go and check your junk email. She delivered the email to you. Go and check your junk. Or it's quarantined. You have to release it as an admin. You have to check, why was it quarantined? What did Monserrat send? Did she send any bad thing? Why is it quarantined? So these are the things you do in your organization as an admin. So these are the basic features, the core services that Microsoft offers. We also have the migration. If you want to migrate from your Exchange server to Exchange Online, probably you've been using the server for a while and you want to, move to Office 365. Or you also want to migrate from Google Workspace to Office 365. You can also use this feature. You can also check your reports, check your report for mail flow, the messages that were auto-forwarded. You can also check your sharing or edit your sharing. Chrome doesn't support this, okay? And also check public folders as well. And this is the classic Exchange Admin Center, which I don't really like again. So that's all for Exchange Online, the overview. With time, we are going to look in details, but for this MS900, we just need the overview. With time, we are going to go through all these one after the other before the end of this course. So do we have any questions about the overview of Exchange? So you guys understood everything I've been saying? Yes?
Our instructor.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for the information. Please, I want to ask this. Something I'm in my own little way, I'm an IT support, a little IT support, a busy first contact person in my office. But as a contract staff, I have a limited access, a limited I can go, limit I can go. So it's just a basic. But in all this, I don't have access on all this. But I want to ask, as regard this Exchange Online and the rest, which they will say we have different license of this Exchange or Microsoft of it.
Yeah.
And some they say it's online, which is accessing Outlook on the web. They say it's E1 or E5 or whatever. And what are they say this person is on Office 365. When anybody just come in as a new staff, I mean for a contract staff,
Yeah.
they get whenever they set him or her up, they set her or him or her up with on premises first.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, maybe it's like a marketer, somebody, the person like a marketer. And as a marketer, they will need to access their mail, maybe from home, on their phone, or at their own convenient time. Okay, I will now be the one to instruct them. Okay, when they were complaining, they may be complaining to me as the first contact person that I don't have much idea on this area of configuring them as the admin. So when they are troubling me, I'll tell them, okay, log it on service desk so as that you need them to migrate you from, what is it called, from on premise, from this particular. So as you're on premises, they will be able to use maybe this local office Outlook, which is out maybe out of 2013. But the moment they migrate them to Office 365 online Office 365, they will be able to access it on web. Why they will not be able to access on premises again? They'll be able to access it on web, and accessing it on web will give them permission to access on any browser at their own convenience, maybe on their phone or any other device. So I want to ask, I'm always convinced, what are the different of Office 365 license we have that one need to know as a growing admin person?
Okay. So from the last session, I think one talked about that. So I wanted to go and watch the previous YouTube video before this class.
Okay. Like
However,
I
I'll
said, I
just
just
give a
come in for the
brief.
first time.
Yeah, I understand. However, I'll just give a brief overview of the kind of licenses we have. So we have the for in your own situation, I heard you saying about E3, E5. So for the enterprise, we have the E1 license, we have the E35 license, we have the E5 licenses, depending on what your company can afford and depending on what your level they think you are to have that kind of licenses. Now for these licenses, some of the licenses comes with Exchange Online Plan 1 and Exchange Online Plan 2. So Exchange Online Plan 1, the major difference between Exchange Online Plan 1 and Exchange Online Plan 2 is the space. For Plan 1, it has only 50 gig. Let me go back to my admin center so we can see. Okay, so now let's look at Chigozie. Let me go to edit, more actions. So if you go to licenses and apps, so now Chigozie has Microsoft 365 E5 licenses without Windows and audio conferencing because it's a developer account. So now when we scroll down to apps, we can see the different licenses, the different apps that come with that licenses. So Chigozie has access to the Azure Active Directory, Azure AIP, he has Exchange Online Plan 2. Can you see that? So now it depends on the license you have. An E1 license comes with Exchange Online Plan 1. An E5 license comes with Exchange Online Plan 2. So now, because of this Plan 2, Chigozie is going to have 100 gig worth of mailbox. And because it's Exchange Online, it's going to have access to Office 365, Outlook on the web, Outlook on the application, and be able to access it anywhere it is as long as it signs in. So that's a major difference. I don't know if I'm able to answer your question, but I think going back to the previous class last week, you can check the YouTube out, and if you still have more questions, because one covered it, if you still have more questions, just put it in the message chat bot, and we are going to try to reply you as soon as we can. So
Okay, thank
for
you.
businesses, we also have the different business license. We have the business premium, we have the business standard, we have the business basic. And we also have for education as well, for schools, licenses for schools. We have licenses for enterprise, licenses for business. So in your MS 900, if you want to write the exam, they may ask you a question like, your organization has less than 300 staff. What kind of license are you going to use? Of course, you don't need an enterprise license. You need a business license because they are less than 300. But if they're above 300, okay, you can start considering enterprise licenses because these things comes with different prices. And, you need to understand how many people in your organization, how many people need access to like all these licenses as well. So also a good thing I came here also is that some organizations don't want their users to have access to Teams. So you can turn off Teams for if I turn this off and I save it, Chico doesn't have access to Microsoft Teams, even though he has the E5 licenses. So sometimes when I used to work as a support engineer like you at the Roadroom, sometimes I receive a ticket and the person say, "Oh, I can't access Exchange Online, but I have E5 license, I have E3 license. What's going on?" And you call this person and you say, "Okay, can I see your admin center? Can I see this? Can I see that?" And you go here and realize that the person turned off Exchange Online. So even though the person has E5 license, because they turned it off here, they can't access their emails. So these are the basic troubleshooting steps you are going to perform as an administrator or as a support engineer for Microsoft 365, or as a consultant or as an analyst for Microsoft 365 or for the modern workplace. I hope I was able to answer your question, Aderoju.
Yes, Sarah, thank you.
Okay, good. So what was I saying? Okay, so we just spoke about the exchange admin. Okay, yeah. So moving on, the next thing now for us to learn is the Windows 10 Enterprise. Although we have Windows 11 now, so I think I need to update my PowerPoint slide to Windows 10 and Windows 11. So some of Microsoft 365 licenses comes with Windows Enterprise. So what is one of the primary components for Microsoft 365 subscription, and it also meets the need of both large and mid-scale organizations. So Windows is a very, I don't know, I'm a Windows person, so I know some of you are using Mac. So Windows is a very, very good tool, especially when you are logged into your Microsoft credential. If you go to our account, let me see if I can open mine and share. Oh, accounts. Yeah. So once you sign into to your account using an account here, it makes everything easy for you. It makes signing in easy for you. It's take a note of what you are doing, analytics. It monitors your movement and help you improve in your work life. It makes you stay productive on the go. It helps improve productivity. There's really not much demo for Windows 10. Um, it's identity access also is part of the core features for Windows 10. It protects your user identities. Signing in also, it gives you that different options of signing in. You can sign in using either a PIN, or you can sign in once you are logged into, depending on what your organization wants, depending on what your organization sets, the security organization sets. Um, that's how you are able to configure the Windows 10 and able to sign in and whatnot. So moving on, these are the core services of Microsoft 365. I hope I didn't miss anything, and you can always ask questions. Demo, we've all done that. So the next thing we are going to talk about is managing your business with Microsoft 365. So this just simply means the key benefit of Microsoft 365 per se. So how do you manage your business with Microsoft 365? In the modern workplace today, the IT department supports different devices configured in different ways. People can have Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and other devices. They can get stolen, they can get lost. What are you going to do as an IT admin? How do you protect your organization from things that are unavoidable? Because someone robbing someone at the gunpoint is not because of your employees, not their fault. You understand? So what can you do as an admin? Like, what can you do if a user reports to you that, hey, my phone has been stolen? What can you do immediately to wipe out those data? So that is what Microsoft 365 is trying to offer us, a simplified management. So we have the Microsoft Intune. It lets you control features and settings in Android phone, Android Enterprise, Mac OS, and Windows 10 devices. Now, for companies that can afford it, you will see that they give their staff separate phones. I think some of us may have heard from our siblings or from anywhere, or may even have a company that we work for that gives us separate phones separate computers.
Yes, we use it also.
Yeah. So separate phones for work. And these phones is configured by the IT admins, by you, the modern workplace engineer, by you, the modern workplace analyst. So these are the things you need to understand and need to learn, to get a job in the modern workplace space and also to pass the MS 900. We also have the configuration manager. That's an on-premise management solutions. We'll not be able to do demo on that because I don't have a setup for that. We also have the co-management. This co-management combines your existing on-premises configuration manager with cloud using Intune. I'm going to show us what Intune looks like in a moment. We also have what we call Windows Autopilot. I love Windows Autopilot. Let me explain to you what Windows Autopilot is. So some of us, when you join a new company, you're working remotely. They send you a computer, right? So now, what is Windows Autopilot? Windows Autopilot is going to. So let me see if I can bring out a drawing board, a whiteboard. Let's see. Second. Let's see if I can bring out a whiteboard. I'm not good at drawing, so anything I draw, you guys should manage it, okay? All right, so okay, let me use this. So this is your company. This is your company. This is you. This is the HP or Dell or whatever brand you use, the laptop company, right? So what should we name our company? Let's name it Contoso. Contoso is too long to type. Contoso. I think I used the wrong. Contoso. Then this is you. Let me use, which name is short? Okay, let me use Joanne. That's a very short name. So I can type. Okay. Then let's use HP. HP is very short as well. Okay. So now, let's say HP is in South Africa. Let's say the HP you guys like meet is in South Africa. I don't know if they have a branch in Nigeria. I don't know. Then your company, let's say, go big boys. Your company is in the US, right? You're working remotely for a US company. And let's say you're in Lagos. So now you got a job with the US company, Contoso is in US. You're in Lagos. Then the laptop they want to send for you is in HP South Africa. So this is what used to happen before. HP will send the laptop to the US. Are we seeing it? HP will send the laptop here. Then you, the IT admin, will now do some things, configure some things, turn off some things, because you don't want your users to be able to access some things. You don't want them to download some things from some websites. You don't want them to go to some websites, After you now do that, you now send the laptop to Joanne in Lagos. You can see how far it is, right? It doesn't really make much. The money you are spending is too much, don't you think so? It doesn't make any sense, or doesn't make any sense because you are moving around. But what Windows Autopilot is saying is that you can just send it from HP directly to Joanne. That's why I love Windows Autopilot. So what happens is that you reach out to HP will give you like an ID of that particular computer. Then you do some configuration. I'm not going to go deep into it because this is an introductory class. HP does give you some ID. You take up that ID, you do some configurations, and you are able to configure the laptop from the US without touching the laptop. So what Joanne just needs is just joanne@contoso.com. Once you just signed in with joanne@contoso.com, automatically all the updates, all the installation, everything that needs to be blocked by the group policies is applied to that PC. It's so cool. I love it. I like it. I love Windows Autopilot. So that's just the overview of what Windows Autopilot is. Yes, there are some other technical stuff once we go deep into it, but for this class, it's just going to be the overview. So these are the things Microsoft 365 offers. It's beyond Excel, it's beyond Word, it's beyond PowerPoint. These are the extra features Microsoft 365 offers its users. Do we have any questions about Windows Autopilot, or do you understand from the drawing? Any questions so far? Okay, I'll take that as a no. So that is Windows Autopilot. It simplifies it's part of the simplified management as well. Then we have the Azure Active Directory, which you asked about earlier, Adiroju. I'm going to show us in a moment. We have the local Active Directory that is on premises. Then we have the Azure Active Directory, and it's also part of our Microsoft 365 subscription. We also have the Endpoint Manager Admin Center as well. It's a one-stop website that you create policies and manage your devices. So right now I'm going to be showing us demo on both Azure Active Directory and the Endpoint Manager Admin Center. That's the next demo we are going to be going to right now. Before I move to the next slide, let me open that up. Okay. So remember, back to the admin center. So we have Endpoint Manager here, as you can see, and we have Azure Active Directory as well. So I'm going to start with Endpoint Manager. Let me close all these tabs. So the Endpoint Manager, we can see the dashboard, all services, devices, endpoint.microsoft.com. So this is where I don't have any device. I wish I did. Would have done some tests. So we can see Windows, iOS, Mac, Android, enroll devices. So these are the conditional access, compliance policies, scripts, configuration profiles. It's just an overview, so I'm not going to be going deep into them. But this is where you monitor your devices. So for instance, if I'm signed into this Windows with this account or with any other account, and as an admin, I'm like, oh, okay, Sarah signed into an HP computer with our account. I'll be able to, do some things. Or if it's a device that the company gives out to you, it's already enrolled, you'll see it. You can search by serial number, email, and whatever you have. So I don't have any device for now here. I'll try to add it for the next class in case of next time. You can also search by platform, by your Windows. You can check the Windows name. So different devices. So this is part of Microsoft 365, advantage. You can wipe out the phone. They stole somebody's phone. Oh my God, IT admin, they stole my phone. I have so many sensitive information. I don't even have password in that phone. But there are so many company documents. You can wipe it out as an admin. That's why people try to have different work phones, different laptops, different work laptops from mobile phone, because at any time, if I as an IT admin, even though you're still with the phone, I detect that there's a threat on that phone, the cybersecurity, I will wipe it out. So imagine you're using the same phone for both your office and your personal stuff. Your personal stuff is gone. So these are the advantage of Microsoft 365, the kind of security it provides. The next admin portal we're going to is the Azure Active Directory. If you want to ask any question, feel free to unmute your mic and speak again. So now the Azure Active Directory is also my favorite place to go. Remember, we created users using this portal, the admin center. You can also create users on this other side as well. If you can see first desk, second desk, Ashlyn. If you go here, first desk, second desk, Ashlyn, it's the same thing. So if you create a new user here, it also appears here. So Microsoft 365 uses Azure because Microsoft 365 is a software as a service. So it uses Azure as its directory service. These are my users. I can also create new users here. I can create new guest user. For example, if I want to add Francis, who works at Microsoft in this place, I can also create it here. You can also do bulk operations like bulk creating users, and you can use MFA. So MFA means multi-factor authentication. So if you want your users to go the extra step after putting their password, you want them to get a code on their phone. This is where you configure everything. You can also change password for a particular user. And this is where you have the on-premise integration. As you can see, I am still having issues with mine. So this is where you do your on-premise integration. And Azure AD is so cool. It's amazing. We also have what we call the conditional access policies. You can check the sign-in logins of each users for the last 24 hours. Okay, as you can see, Texter last login was Dublin. So for instance, Monserrat kind of feels like she has been attacked, and she reports to you, Aderoju, the IT admin, that I think something is going on. I didn't do this stuff. I don't know how it happened. You can check the sign-in logs. I'm like, Monserrat, you're in USA. How did somebody from Nigeria log into your account? So this is where you can check all those stuff. You can check where the person signed in from. You can also block it also. You can also create a policy that say, all my staff are in the US, so nobody's in Nigeria. Please, anybody that is signing from outside US, block the person signing. So for example, maybe Monserrat is in a company in the US and she wants to come to Nigeria for vacation. She'd not tell her IT. And she carried the laptop maybe to Nigeria to, do some office work because she likes working. And she comes to Nigeria for vacation and she picks up her laptop and she tries to sign in and she says, I can't sign in. She now raises service desk that IT, I can't sign in. IT, and I'm like, why are you trying to sign in from Nigeria? And I'm on vacation. And I say, oh, okay. Then IT admin can now exclude Monserrat from that policy that, okay, Monserrat has told us that she's in Nigeria for vacation. Let us allow her to sign in from Nigeria. So do we understand, like, this is how Microsoft protects us? You can also do your company branding, put your logo for your company. Like if you want users to sign in, instead of that white space, if you want to sign in, you can now see your logo if you want to try to sign in. So these are the things you can do as an admin. You can also add a custom domain name. I don't have any. So for example, this is the one that will come with your Microsoft account, .microsoft.com. You can change it to Microsoft.com or MonserratEnterprises.com or AderojuEnterprises.com. So this is where you add it. But you have to buy it from all these hosting services first. Then this is where you do the addition. Then Azure AD Connect is where you connect to your local on-premises AD. For instance, Aderoju, when you asked your question, some companies are in hybrid. They don't want to fully go to cloud yet. Maybe they don't trust us enough. But they want to be able to create their users on-prem, then sync that users to Azure Active Directory because they want users to appear here. So what they do is they create the users in the local AD, then sync those users, then those users appears here. So in the exam now, they can ask you questions like, what tool do you use to sync your users from the local AD to Azure AD? So the options can be Azure AD Connect. The options can be Azure AD Federation. The options can even be SharePoint Online. So you know that the answer is Azure AD Connect. So these are the advantages, simplified management for Microsoft 365. You can also create a new support request. Maybe you have been trying to fix a problem, you can't fix it. Support is free. You can create a service request here or also here. Support is free. And like call support, like, hey, I'm having this issue with this, so can you help me out? They are obliged to help you. In fact, I think they are going to answer you within the first 30 minutes to 1 hour you raise the ticket. Very fast. So if you have any issue that you think you've tried your best to solve, you can't solve, you can always raise a support request and they would help you. Okay. Also licenses. You can also add licenses here. As you can see, I only have 2 licenses, E5 and Power Automate, which is free. If I want to add extra licenses, I can do a trial or I can buy. So these are the various things that helps simplifies. These are just the overview anyway for the MS900. Okay, moving on, let's see. Looking at time. So also we also have for the simplified management. So we also have business process automation, we have business intelligence, and we have the Microsoft Secure Score. So now for business process automation, the major tools used in automation are SharePoint, Power Automate, and Power Apps. I'm going to show you what Power Apps looks like. So again, this is just the overview of Microsoft 365, and it's going to be what is going to be required of you in the exam. So this is what Power Apps look like. You can create like simple apps. You don't need to like know how to code a lot. It's very low code. So I created this app called Dex Bootkin Test. I got it from April's YouTube, a very lovely lady working in Microsoft. So this app is only for people in my company. I want them to be able to like book their decks before they come to work. So this is, I choose the time. So these are the things you can do with Microsoft 365, Desk 1, Desk 2. So once I take Desk 1, it's not be available again for the same 24th of February. It's going to disappear. So these are the things you can do with, you can see, booked. Just a simple app, done. As an IT admin, something you can do. But we're not going to go deep into this. But these are everything is still under Office 365. All these are just the apps. There are so many apps. These are just the core services that you can use. For automation, you can also use what we call Power Automate. So Power Automate is like you can create flows that say, okay, I want you to send an email to Monsurat every day using the following. I'm not going to start it right now. Power Automate, I want to send an email to Monsurat every day with so CSV file. Or I want an email to be sent to Aderoju every day, but take this data from SharePoint. I'm sending email. So instead of you to be sending it manually yourself, automatically, Aderoju will be receiving email every day from that particular SharePoint list. Maybe the forms that they submitted, the users submitted in your website, or maybe the forms that your customers filled. Maybe your company is a delivery service, and you immediately receive order. Automatically, Aderoju should receive an email that somebody has placed an order. Go and work on it. So these are the various things that you can use. Power BI, of course, we know what Power BI is for data analysis. And we also know what Excel is for. Then we also have what we call the Microsoft Secure Score. I'm running out of time. We also have Microsoft Secure Score is used to measure your organization's security posture. For instance, in Microsoft, we would always advise that all the admins have the multi-factor authentication. That's beside your password, we want you to be able to sign in next again to the next level. So if, for instance, all your admins don't have MFA enabled, Microsoft Secure Score will be shining to your eyes that, hey, tell your admins to do MFA, or you configure MFA for all your admins so that, they don't get hacked or something else. So that's for Microsoft Secure Score. Then, yes, and the last thing we're going to be talking about today is the workplace analytics, and we're also going to do a quick demo on that as well. So what is workplace analytics? What is my analytics? So workplace analytics is used to gather, we live in a data-driven world. So we use this to gather data from your organization day-to-day activities. And the good thing about Microsoft Workplace is that it's going to check how you work and help you, it's going to help you work better. For instance, you can always set focus time like, hey, by 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. during work hours, nobody should put me on do not disturb. I don't want any emails notification. I don't want any Teams notification. I just want to work. So this is the benefit of using workplace analytics. You can it can address wasteful collaboration and meeting cultures. People that like too much meetings, too much talking like me. Workplace is good for me because I talk too much. So the workplace will be like, okay, this is becoming too much, Sarah. Can you try to, curb these meetings? All these meetings is not, you can check how many hours you spend in the meetings in a week. Like, I spend too much time in meetings. What these meetings, are they productive? Why am I doing too much meetings? Can also inform leadership excellence and development. It can also inform leadership initiative and development as well. So I think I wrote that twice. So applications like My Analytics are welcomed in human resources, where the goal is to make employees more productive, where it's to make them more efficient, and where it's to make them more content in the workplace. The aim is to benefit teams by using analytics about worker tasks to improve everyone's work and speed. And the good thing about My Analytics is that it can be used to track time spent on various tasks. I'm going to show you what it looks like right now. And okay, My Analytics, do I have it open? No, I do not. Okay, My Analytics. Right. It's Microsoft.com. Even though I didn't spell it the same way. Oh, okay, I did. Yay. All right. Okay, so this is My Analytics. I've not really done much because it's a new account, Textilers. So it says, welcome to My Analytics Textilers. You can watch the video launched or so you can see. So because of this account is very new, everything is grayed out. But this is where you can create. Let me look for an account that I have done some things at least. Okay, all right. So okay, so this is what My Analytics look like. You can check your well-being, meetings 0%, emails 98%, chat and call 2%. So it's just an AI that uses like it uses what you do every day to check your trend. So so you are going to know like, okay, this is what I've been doing this week. Can I do less meetings and do more work, or can I do more work or can I do more meetings and do less work, depending on the kind of role. For example, somebody that is an executive director may do more meetings because you have to meet people or for project or stuff. So depending on your role, you're like, okay, I'm doing less meetings, I'm doing less networking. How can I increase it? Or how can I increase my work time? So this is what My Analytics do. And they also send you an email also, like I think weekly or is it daily? They send an email also to you and say, okay, this is what you've done this week. This is what you can do next week. This is your focus time. So you can book your focus time and like, okay, say that I don't want focus time it's focus, like you don't want anybody to disturb you. I don't want anybody to disturb me at so time. This is my time for doing this work, and that is how My Analytics work. So these are part of the interesting features that Microsoft 365 gives to its users. Do we have any questions so far? Because I think the next slide is knowledge check. Yeah, the next slide is knowledge check before we call it a day. So do we have any questions on what has been said so far, or even your last class? Anyone? Any question at all?
Okay. She can talk. Maybe I talk.
What?
Someone wanted to talk.
Oh, the person isn't saying anything.
Okay, for this lecture, I like to take my time. So yeah, I'll drop my questions during the week. I'll just drop it in the chat.
That's okay. Feel free. Sometimes maybe too much information can be overwhelming, and maybe like the question doesn't come right now and it comes later. Maybe when you're watching the video later. Feel free to ask your questions at any time, and once we are available, we are going to try our best to answer.
Then for the other, maybe you can just run us through how to explore the Microsoft 365 what's it called, the space. Yes, how to add users and all of that. It's on the what's it called? It's on the video though. But then maybe you can just run through it again, because there's this new person that just joined. So
okay. All right. So adding new users to Microsoft 365, am I correct?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So let's just do like a brief let me just explain what everything is in this admin portal to you. It's very straightforward. So okay, so let me add a new user. Let me add Monserrat as my new user. The first thing you need to do is cancel. So there are various ways you can use this admin center or you can use this admin center, but I figured you're referring to this one. So adding a new user, I'm going to add Monserrat Ajayi, right?
Yes.
Not Ajayi. And display name Monserrat Ajayi. Username Monserrat.ajayi at this.com. So now there are different ways. Do you want to automatically create a password? Do you want this user to change their password when they first sign in? And do you want to send password in email upon completion? So it depends on what you want, really. I usually turn this off and create this password myself because I'm lazy and I don't need the user to create I don't need the users to sign in, of course, because it's just a demo account. So you can create the password for this user, but if you're an IT admin, I'm like, okay, automatically create a password, all this Microsoft password. Tell the user that do this so that when the user signs in the first time, most company does this. They change that password that the IT admin gave them. So that way, your IT admin don't know your password. You're the only one that knows your password, which is good. So you go to next, select your location, then select the licenses you have. Make sure you select the right location. Select the licenses you want to give that particular user. So in my organization, I only have 2 licenses, which is the E5 and the Power Automate. I have 13 out of 25 available. I have 9,994 out of 10,000 available. So if I want to give Monserrat the 2, or I can create a user without a product license, but it's not recommended. So these are the apps. So if I want to turn off Exchange Online for Monserrat, I can turn it off here. Maybe she doesn't need a mailbox, but she needs other things. Or she needs the mailbox. You don't want her to have Microsoft Teams. She's not part of the people that should be chatting. She should be, I don't know. Or you don't want her to have access to Microsoft Planner or My Analytics. Some people do complain that My Analytics send them a lot of emails and they don't want it. So the admin sometimes just turn it off for those users. Or you don't want the users to be able to have access to Power Apps. You don't want them to be creating their own application, even for fun. You want them to focus fully on work. You can turn it off as well. So these are the various things you can do. But I'm not going to turn off anything for Monserrat. She's nice to me. So next. So this is where you choose the admins and administrators. So we have Exchange administrator. So this administrator will not be able to have access to another portal apart from Exchange. So the only thing the person can do is create new users in the Exchange side of things and do some checks on the Exchange Online side of things. Then we have the global administrator. This Bubuero. It's for is he or she or they are going to have access to every admin right. This is like the global admin right, all the admin right, unlimited access to all management and features. We have the global reader. Global reader is like admin, but it cannot do much. They can only view. They can only read. Global reader. These are the questions that will be asked during the MS 900 exam. So take note of these various administrators. We have the help desk. Help desk can only do things like reset password, re-authenticate for all non-admins. So you can have a question like in your MS 900 exam. The question can be like, my organization needs a admin to reset password. Which of the following is the least permissive admin? No, which of the following admin should be able to do this? The admin should have the least privilege. They may now give you global administrator, helpdesk administrator, and some other administrators. Remember, global administrator can do that. Helpdesk administrator also can change password. But remember in the question, they said the least permission. So what would be the answer? Help desk. Because help desk cannot do everything the global admin can do. Even though the global admin and help desk admin, both of them are correct. They can change your password. But Microsoft's exam will not say the lists. So these are the kind of things you should check out for when you want to write the exam as well. So we also have the service support. It's for creating service requests and checking monitor health. They can also ask you a question in your MS 900 that which of the following admins can raise support requests. They will add global admin again. They will add service support again. Then answer the list again. That okay, service support is the correct answer. Same thing with SharePoint. This is only for SharePoint and SharePoint alone. But they can also manage Microsoft 365 groups. We also have the same thing for Teams. They can also manage 365 group. And we also have user administrators. This user administrator also resets user password. However, unlike help desk cannot create new users. So user admin can reset password and create new users. So again, they can put these three options in your exam and ask you to choose the least privilege. The least privilege is still help desk because help desk cannot create users. User can create users and global admin have the all rights. So these are the kind of questions you're going to see in the exam that's going to confuse you, but I'm sure you're going to break through as well. So I'm going to be giving Monserrat's user administrator because I want her to be able to create new users in my organization. Go to next, and that is all. That is it. That is it for creating users. And if we see Monserrat is going to appear here, and once I give her signing details, she'll be able to sign into this tenant, do everything she's supposed to do with Exchange Online as well. And Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and because she's an admin, she's going to have her own admin portal where she can create new users, change password of users, and do some other admin stuff that user admins can do. You can also delete the user. So if I want to delete Monserrat, I'm sorry. Where is it? If I want to delete the user, I will just search for Monserrat again, and I'm going to like delete. But oh, if you restore this later, blah blah blah, delete user, deleting, and Monserrat is gone. So now the license is now free. The user has been deleted. So she's going to be on the deleted user list for up to 30 days. So you can see Monserrat here. So for up to 30 days, she's going to be here, and I can restore her, not here. I can restore her here. I go to users. You can't be able to restore using this admin center. But if I come here and go to deleted users, Monserrat is here. I can either delete permanently or restore her. So I'm going to restore Monserrat because it didn't do anything wrong. So user is successfully restored. If you go back again and we refresh, it's going to take a while. So Monserrat is supposed to disappear from here and appear here. It's going to take a while to show. Okay. Okay, yeah. See, she has appeared back here. Now I have to reassign the license to her because now she's back as an unlicensed user. And you can see she has disappeared from deleted users. So these are the things you can do. You can also add a contact here as well. You can also create groups here as well. You can check your deleted group here as well. You can create a shared mailbox. Remember I spoke about shared mailboxes that doesn't need license, maybe info@microsoft.com, hr@microsoft.com, all those kind of things that you can share with other people instead of your personal email address. You can also assign roles here. Then the billing, this is where you can purchase services, check your licenses, and pay for the licenses. Don't worry, we're going to be using developer account. It's totally free. You can also create new service requests here for Microsoft support, and somebody's going to call you or chat you or send you an email depending on what you want. You can also add domains also here, like I showed in Azure AD. You can add the domain here, like Sarah.com, Microsoft.com, organization settings, feedback, analytics as well. You can also check your reports here. You can add a partner, but adding a partner will be using CSP. So for some organizations, they don't want anybody in the office to be doing the admin work. So they're going to hire a partner to be doing all those work for them. So the partner is going to appear here once you send an email to them and do the payment and all those stuff. Check reports, check the health, and like this dashboard as well. So sometimes you can check the incidents or no incidents, advisories. These are the advisories that are available, the history. So sometimes you can see that maybe Microsoft is down. Remember, Microsoft has an SLA of 99.9%, not 100%. So that 1%, Microsoft can be down, and they are going to tell you that, oh, this is what happened. This is why Microsoft was down. This is why this is this. So this way you can check the report as well. And these are the other admin center. Then if you are syncing, you can also check for your sync status. As you can see, the last time I sync was 133 days ago. Oh my God, so terrible. I don't even know where my server is right now. So that is all for the admin center. But one discussed it more in the last class, so you can also check the YouTube video of the last class as well.
Okay, I also wanted to ask, when you create the user, how does the person get is it automated, the password, or you have to manually copy it and send to the person?
You would have to send to the person. When you join a new organization, the organization gives you your username and the temporal password. Then when you get your username and your password, like the current company I work for, when I joined them, the night before I resumed, they sent me my email address and the temporal password. And I got my computer to that same day. So when I got my computer, I just signed in with that username and password they sent to my personal email. And I was able to change the password immediately. So you would have to send it through another means. It's not automatic.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's all about the admin centers. You can also check all other admin centers and just browse through for the MS 900 exam as well. So I think we are done for today. What is left is the knowledge check. So how are we going to do this? So it's an ABCD. So I just want us to be close to our chat buttons so I can see your answers for question 1, 2, and 3. So then I'm going to explain why maybe you passed or why you missed it. But I hope everybody gets the answer though. So this is it. 3 questions. Let's go. The first question is, your company has one of the Microsoft 365 subscription. You want to instruct the new recruits on what to use for video and audio communication with their colleagues. Choose the correct answer. A, SharePoint. B, Yammer. C, Exchange Online. D, Microsoft Teams. I think this one is simple. Everybody put your number 1 answer on the chat box. Okay, Francis has answered. Another person. Question number 1. Okay, and we are going with that final answer. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we all got it right. So yes, Microsoft Teams is what you're going to use for video and audio communication with your colleagues. So this is something similar you're going to see in the exam and some other complex ones. And as we go in the class, we would also be giving you like different knowledge checks as well. So question number 2, is Microsoft 365 a platform as a service? You guys did it in the last class. A, yes, it is. B, no, it's an infrastructure as a service. C, no, it's a software as a service. D, no, it's a Windows as a service. So let's see. Okay, someone has answered. Okay, we're all going with the same answer. Final answer. Drum rolling. Is that our final answer? Okay, yes, we are correct. The answer is C. It's a software as a service. It's not infrastructure as a service. It's not Windows as a service. Neither is it a platform as a service. Question number 3. Which of the following statements is true? Cloud service providers provide the ability to stop paying for resources when they're no longer needed. Cloud services provide 100% availability. Cloud services provide the ability to pay for additional resources or capacity when needed. A, 1 and 2 only. B, 1, 2, and 3. C, 2 and 3 only. D, none of the above. So let's see. Okay, okay. Let's go. More people. It's only Uchechi and okay. Let's see. Okay, is that our final answer? Not sure. Okay. The final answer is, let me even see. Okay. The answer. Okay, none of you got this right. The answer is actually A. So the answer is not B because I just said it just a few minutes ago that Microsoft SLA is 99.9%. It's not 100%. No company is going to give you 100%. So 2 is out of it. Then the first one, provides the ability to stop paying for resources that are no longer needed. As you can see, when I deleted Motionrat's account, the license was given back to me. At the same time, like I can maybe for that month, maybe Motionrat is resigning from the office, and I don't have any new staff. Instead of me to renew the next month that license, I can just decide not to pay for it because I don't need it again. So one is correct. Then the second one, 100% no. Microsoft doesn't give you 100%. It gives you 99.9% availability time. Then the third one, it provides the ability to pay for additional resources or capacity when needed. Yes. So for example, most students wants to come back to my company again, even though I don't have enough licenses, I can just buy just that one license I need. I don't need to go and like buy plenty, just that one license I need. So the answer is actually, what I said the answer was again.
You said the answer. That was what
I made a
confused me.
mistake. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. So the answer is not here actually. The answer is 1 and
Yes.
3. Okay. You guys, okay. I'm going to give you guys this one because I made a mistake in the option. Okay, I'm going to give you guys this one. So automatically everybody passed number 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So automatically, because the option is wrong, I made a mistake. It's I and I. It's not part of the option. Maybe I was dozing when I was typing this.
Because that was what confused. I know that I and I is correct, but
Is correct, right? Yeah. So I'm going to give everybody this particular one. So that brings us to the end of our class. I'm going to stop recording now, so you can feel free to ask any question you don't want to ask on the recording, or discuss, give me feedback on what I could have done better for this session. Yeah. So I'm going to stop recording right now. So thank you for joining today's class. Everything will be made available. I'm going to also send us some links that we can use to read as well. So stop recording.